Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, when things aren't created, but see true.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the day shift. For those of you who are already on TikTok, we were already talking because I thought the new software was working and it wasn't. So you got distracted. Yes. Thank you, Tink. I appreciate that. So listen. If you are new here, I'm Paulette. I'm the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, Cityscape Radio, and you guessed it, Brownstone Living Magazine. Park service, park ranger, seasonal end date, November 1st. Okay, gotcha. All right, so listen, grab your coffee, cheers, and your ice water over here. That's what we want to do. Why? You're probably going to need it by the time we get through, okay? All right, so let's go back through what we were discussing before I realized that the software wasn't working. Is we were talking about the government shutdown, okay? So let's start from the beginning again. I'm good. Hey, Nelly Boop, how are you? The shutdown started 12:01 a.m. on October 1st of 2025 after Congress failed to pass funding legislation to continue federal operations. Now, guys, let's keep it 100. It's not like this has never happened before, because it has. We are not new to this. The last time that this happened, I believe it's happened 4 times recently in the past couple of presidencies. And the longest one ever was during the last Trump administration, which was 35 days. But here's what's a little bit different this time, and we need to pay attention to this. Now, first of all, let's go through what we do know, okay? And then I want to address some of the nasty comments about things that I've been seeing people post about that really concern me. So non-essential federal operations have been suspended, and many federal employees have been furloughed. That means temporarily laid off without pay. Now, essential services such as certain national security, public safety, and health functions continue operating, but many have reduced capacity or staffing. Now, some agencies have already started layoffs, and that means permanent reductions, which is actually unusual. And we know this. He sure is, Courtney. Please say it again. So the legal challenges have already started, okay? And key public services have already been affected. For instance, Smithsonian Services, the Washington, D.C. Zoo has been shut down, or actually closed, not shut down, because I know the animals still have to be fed and so forth. Now, let's talk about some of the issues and concerns that are on the table, trying to do a recap really quick so we can get back on track. Federal employees are generally entitled to retroactive pay after a shutdown ends, according to the Government Employee Fair Treatment Act. But this current administration says, not so fast. We're going to look at that again because we ain't so sure we want to do that. During times like this, what usually happens is these employees who are a part of this will usually get something that they can send to, their bill collectors or their creditors, letting them know, hey, my income has kind of paused. I need to, kind of hold off on, can we work together, XYZ. Now, duration is uncertain at this time because Representative Mike Johnson has basically said, we're not budging. We ain't moving. We not doing anything. And then they passed the law to guarantee back pay during Trump's first term, and that was in 2019. Correct. They don't want to honor that, though. Okay, I've read an article or two about that, and I thought, you got to be kidding me. All right, so this shutdown is really into its second week. We're actually on day 15, basically, because today is the 15th. And the sad part is that Mike Johnson's like, we're not budging. Not until the Democrats do what we want them to do. Basically, it's all punishment, right? So what we're currently looking at right now is a group of folks who are basically at an impasse, and it's a congressional gridlock. Senate votes to move the funding bills forward have repeatedly failed. And because of that, both parties are like, no. But see, here's the thing that's the most interesting. And then we're going to go and we're going to circle back to what we were talking about before I went live on the other platforms. And that's this. Number one, we have talked incessantly about the three branches of government. Yes, we've talked about that. We know that currently the Republicans have what? All three branches. They are the majority. Correct. Correct. I would do that too. Well, I mean, mine's a little bit different. But so do I have to pull this up again, y'all? Yes, I do. We have the legislative branch. And the legislative branch right now is controlled by Republicans. We have the executive branch. And that's run by the Republicans. Me too, Tennessee Vols. 10 Vols. Yes, I would too. And the judicial branch is majority conservative. Correct. If they really wanted to, the shutdown would have been over. It wouldn't have ever started. That's crazy. Yet Democrats being blamed. And that's what they want the American people to believe. And how are they doing that? They are doing that. Correct. Trump and GOP owns this shutdown, and he used this time to further fire federal. Bingo. Correct. They wanted the shutdown. Exactly. So even though we know what is in the Constitution, yes, it's backwards, y'all. What is in the Constitution? I got this from my public library. We know what is really going on, and they really wanted to do what they did. Literally. They wanted the shutdown. And we're going to talk about how this is impacting other people. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to go over was what departments fired people. Yeah. All right. Let me pull that up. Because, where's my search? Okay. So let's talk about what agencies have fired employees. The Treasury Department fired 1,446 people. Yep. Health and Human Services, especially the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, large numbers of staff were issued termination notices, though some were later rescinded to a tune of like 700 people got their hey, Devon, how are you? Thank you for that. Want you to vote for somebody? Snow? What? Yeah, your Treasury Department. So this is what I'm getting ready to do. Because I got questions. Because why these departments? And I got questions. Health and Human Services. especially the Centers for Disease Control. We covered that. Department of Homeland Security, including Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, fired 176 employees. Department of Education, sit down. Employees in special education or civil rights offices were fired. Let's go to that. That's according to The Guardian. Y'all, when I tell y'all I cited sources and looked all this up, I was like, okay, let's find out what this is. Okay, so federal workers are scrambling to figure out if they still have a job after the Trump administration launched a fresh wave of layoffs amid a federal government shutdown, prompting widespread confusion and panic. Now, about 4,200 employees total across 7 agencies have been laid off. Okay. Treasury Department, once again, 1,446. Health and Human Services, let's see, 1,100. Education, 466. Housing and Urban Development, 442. Commerce, let's see, 315. Energy, 187. Homeland Security, 176. Okay. So what we're currently looking at is an administration that, and I need y'all, remember we said this before, if you've ever paid attention to anything that we have said when we go live or whenever we do the rivalry report, we always talk about there is always a strategy. Hey, Cheryl. Oh, Lord. I'd be trying to keep up with y'all. So we're talking about where we currently are in the government shutdown. This is a way to reduce Black financial stability in the country. Well, not just financial stability in the Black community, but overall, because what that does is that frees up the numbers. And they're saying, oh, we're doing it because we're trying to save taxpayers' money. Well, when am I going to get my damn money back? None. Let's talk about it. Yeah. It's instability for everybody. I 100% agree with you, but Ian, you could not be more right. Absolutely. And we already know that that's the case because one of the most hard-hit group of individuals would be Black women. Over 350,000 Black women since this administration has been in office because of DOGE and other agencies have let Black women go at mass numbers. It is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh, baby, it's already shook, Michael White, on purpose. Absolutely. So here we are at this juncture. Oh, excuse me. That coffee got to me. All right. And Department of Education was hit. Housing and Urban Development. Hey, Angie T. And we're rolling, Courtney. It's almost it's almost like we can't keep up. So let's talk about the Department of Treasury first. Approximate firings, once again, 1,446. What does the U.S. Department of Treasury do? Grab your pens, please, while I sip my bowl of coffee. Manage federal finances, including tax collection through the IRS. Issues debt and pays the nation's bills. Oversees banking and economic sanctions. Because no, listen, okay? It is. It's a bowl of coffee. Let's talk about the impact of those layoffs. IRS operations have been severely reduced. Refund processing, audits, and taxpayer assistance centers have slowed down or stopped. You have a bucket, Terry, so I'm not alone. You are not alone. No. It is a bowl of coffee. Debt management and functions are being strained. Risky delays in government payments. Customer service lines have been overwhelmed due to the lack of personnel who have been furloughed. I actually know some people that have been furloughed. These cuts could delay tax refunds, affect compliance, enforcement, and worsen economic uncertainty. And we know why. Oh my God, today. Do they not? Yes. HU, yes. All right. So let's say, for instance, the IRS furloughed nearly half of its workforce, which means limited audits and slower return processing, directly affecting millions of households and businesses. Yeah. We getting there, Cadell. It's a pretty name, by the way. Oh, yeah. Department of Health and Human Services, let's talk about it, including the CDC, which we know they rescinded 700 of those folks' layoffs. All right. The Department of Health and Human Services runs public programs. And let me stop right here and just say this. For those of you all who are saying, cut to the chase, you need to know what departments are being impacted, because it very well could impact you or somebody in your community. And not only that, we think we know what these departments do, but sometimes we really, really don't, because we haven't really been paying attention, because, for a while we thought we had it going on because of certain people that were in office and we thought we didn't need. Okay. All right. So they run public health programs, including disease control, Medicare and Medicaid, administration, food, drug safety through agencies like the FDA and the CDC. Now, it also protects vulnerable populations through health and social service programs. Okay. Now, disease surveillance at CDC has been weakened, but we know why. Like, didn't they just quarantine a ton of kids in North Carolina for measles? What was it for measles outbreak? Mm-hmm. Public health programs like vaccination tracking, lab testing, foodborne illnesses monitoring are all slowed or to a halt. Reduced staffing at Health and Human Services regional offices. Did you hear what I said? Regional offices. And that's affecting grant distribution and emergency response coordination. A lot of these local agencies in small rural communities are literally being impacted. Why? Because their Health and Human Service regional offices are quiet, because the staffing has been paused. And so because of that, the distribution that is necessary for local communities to get the help that they need, either through food, clothing, housing, rent assistance, or wherever, those grants have been paused. Hey, Liberal Unicorn, how are you? I'm well. Thank you for asking. Here's the truth. If they don't provide social services for what people need, they will rise up and take yours. I didn't say that. Kimberly did. I'm going to sip my bowl of coffee because she ain't never lied. So when you're talking about those grants, think about it. When those local agencies are not able to get the funding that they need to keep things open, guess what happens to those local communities? Right. There you go. That's all. Department of Homeland Security, including CISA, they let go of 176 people, oversees border security, immigration enforcement, transportation security, disaster response. That would be FEMA. Pause. What just happened in Alaska a couple days ago that the regular media is not covering? Alaska just had a typhoon. I haven't heard about it on any news platform except social media. It impacted their indigenous communities. Homes are floating down rivers, and they're still not covering it. Evidently, they've been without power for 22 days in Alaska, certain areas. So glad that you were able to come and join us. Thank you. See you again. Yep. So if FEMA has been cut, guess what support they're not going to get? Now, some of the indigenous communities, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the names because I don't want to be rude to those communities. But some of these indigenous communities, they're literally setting up command centers in churches, the community center in the schools, because they haven't had the support that they needed. Right? That's why we need to know which one of these departments handles what. And it is the same thing. Remember when he threw the roll of what was it, the paper towels in the crowd? I want to cuss. All right. So Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Because they're the executive branch and they run all three branches of government. That's how. A virtue of silence, absolutely. And that's fine. Let them keep on. Okay. Now they're losing key cyber defense personnel, and this weakens federal and critical infrastructure defenses. I need y'all to pay attention to what the heavens I just said. Key cyber defense personnel weakens federal and critical infrastructure defenses. Remember I said that this administration always plays chess? Y'all think that was by accident? No. Immigration case processing delays are mounting. Border wait times are lengthening. Number one, Snow, you are absolutely correct. But there's another reason. I always say this during it is, but check this out. I need y'all to follow the money. Follow the money. Follow the money. Follow the money. Why would you break down this department? Why would you? Because if you get rid of your key defense personnel, you can do what? Because it's still needed, isn't it? We getting there. What's the one thing what's the one thing? Yep. That part, Samantha. That part, Cadell. Kimberly hit it on the head. Privatization. Marinate on that with your tax dollars. And you're going to pay these people. And then not only that, not only you're going to pay them, you're going to work for them too. Yep. Pay attention. Exactly. Where is your money going? Period. So FEMA is functioning at minimum levels, which can delay responses if a natural disaster, which we know has occurred. These were notes from 2 days ago. You got it. Yep. Now, Department of Education. This is really going to wear you out. The main departments that were impacted. Yep. In our face, Miss P. Brown. Yep. Civil Rights Department, Special Education. That's you, Snow Winter. Y'all catching this now? Did you catch it? Hey, Tony, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today. And to all of you guys that are here, I appreciate you. I really do appreciate you for coming to join us. Okay, so listen, y'all, it's exhausting. Yes, I know, but you need to know the reason why they want us to be distracted by Kristi Noem wanting to have this propaganda video played at local, at your local airports is because they want to inundate you with things that don't matter while they continue to do this slick shit behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying? All right, so let's finish talking about Department of Education. The key functions are to administer federal student aid and grants. Administer federal student aid and grants. Enforce civil rights in education. Oversees national education policy and research. The impact of the layoffs have been pretty staunch. Federal student aid processing delays are affecting millions of college students. And some of these students are already preparing to get ready for 2026 fall. Okay. Investigations into civil rights violations in schools has been paused. States and local districts relying on federal guidance have fewer support channels now. College students waiting loan disbursements or forgiveness applications are experiencing long delays. Long delays. You think that that's by accident? It's not. So many kids that are on meds. Then you also got to think about it impacted, if I'm not mistaken, it also impacted children with disabilities in the Department of Education as well. Okay. Head Start. It's all by bingo. It's all by design. It's all by design. So while, like I said, while we're sitting here and while they have us, oh my God, today, while they have us arguing with one another about the things that don't matter in this country, they are robbing us blind with our own money. I keep trying to tell y'all, for anybody that's been here, I've been saying this. They are robbing us blind with our own money. I'm gonna say it. You want me to say it again? They are robbing us blind with our own money. And guess what, folks? They are excited that we are so busy going at each other's necks because they're going to continue to keep doing this. They're going to continue, and nobody's going to call them to the carpet. Nobody. But you still need to know. You need to know what's going on. Was testing ground for privatization of public services, starting with foster care. My God. Unless we do. Yes, Kimberly. Correct. Now, Department of Housing and Urban Development. Pay attention. I need y'all to pay attention because I live in a fairly new. It's fairly new. It's fairly new. My house is not even 5 years old. It just turned 5, I think. This is a brand new housing development. Pay attention. The gentleman next door to me sold his home to a private company. I forgot the name of the company, but they came out here yesterday and it aggravated my soul to see them because I guess he was so desperate to get out of whatever situation that he was in that he just sold it to the first buyer. Well, when the house went up for rent, which aggravated me, I don't even know why it aggravated me. When the house went up for rent, they almost tripled the rent price for the house. And it stayed on Zillow, I know, for like a year before somebody rented it out. Very quiet family, whatever, right? But the rent is almost three times what my mortgage is per month. I'm going somewhere with this. So one of the things that we know is happening in the US of A right now is the privatization and the corporate purchasing of entire communities and then turning around and renting them back to you. I need us to pay attention to how everything is cyclical. Yes? And at the very core of it all, the reason why there were so many people that were pushing for this guy to get back in office, and they pushed tons and tons and tons of money into his campaign, was because this was what they wanted. This is what they wanted. And as long as they could continue to keep him up front, getting the folks riled up about nothing. Us versus them. Man versus woman. Black versus white. They could literally take this country and do what they're doing. And they're getting away with it. Because we want to pay attention to the things that don't matter. Bingo. Salvino. Mass hysteria. 3 investment companies did that in Charlotte and started a housing issue for low. Exactly. It is racism at the core, I think. That and money. Absolutely. Yep. Bingo. Bingo. Rich steal from poor to keep them rich. Exactly. Are you guys following what I'm saying? And again, remember, this is not to scare anybody. Let me see if I can get some of this light out. There we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, so I don't want you guys to think that they're just willy-nilly doing stuff, because that's how it looks when it hits the news. But I need you all to pause just for a minute and say, wait a damn minute. Now let's get back into who they cut at urban development, housing and urban development. Ready? Reported numbers not fully disclosed on who they fired, but the key functions of the housing and urban development are manages affordable housing programs and rental assistance. Stop. Full stop. Listen to what I just said. Manages affordable housing programs and rental assistance. What the hell did I just tell y'all just happened next door to me? Funds community development block grants. Well, who gonna get the grants if everything is corporate owned? Oh, okay. Enforces fair housing laws. Who remembers redlining? Yes. Impact of these layoffs, rental assistance, and voucher payments are delayed or stopped or paused, affecting low-income families and seniors. Affordable housing project approvals are stalled, putting housing stability at risk. Oh, but here I come to save the day. And then somebody will come in, swoop it all up, and say, we'll fix it. Nonprofits that rely on HUD funds may have to pause their services. Some housing authorities are warning they will run out of funds to pay landlords by mid-November if the shutdown continues. They break it and fix it for a fee. Cheers. Thank you. You caught that? Did you catch that? That's why I need us to pay attention. Yep. And if we dig a little bit deeper, because see, now I feel like doing a little bit digging. We need to find out who these housing folks are and who's backing them. Is it BlackRock? Is it Silver Lake? FTW, Amy just said something very interesting. Airbnb. They can't find renters because the rent's too high. So they'll go ahead and do some a corporate apartment. And see, that's the question. I'm not sure, Courtney, because the local courts still have to continue to function. Landlords still need their rent. I hope this is making sense. And y'all, this is not something I woke up one morning and I was like, I'm going to be super smart. No, something didn't sound right to me. I kept saying, why these departments? And I started digging and I said, oh, okay, so now that makes sense. And then I started thinking about, the mass control that they really want through what? The Heritage Foundation, through Project 2025. And I thought, you probably could trickle up. Are you following where I'm going with this? So it's not because I want to come here and be like, look what I found out. No, I'm saying it because I'm asking you guys to please do your research and do your homework. And we had to pay all them people back. Remember, we shot through government. We had to bail all of those banks and stuff out with them crappy bank loans that really didn't exist. And people were making millions back then off of lies. Thank you for listening, Liberal Unicorn. I hope this is helpful for you all, for everybody that's listening. And I know this may not be anything that you want to hear, but we have to have this conversation. We have to have it. Hey, Kayshawn, I didn't know you was in here. How are you? You're in New York City. We might have to make city and state laws until this works out. You go have to. And it's real. All right, let's go on to Department of Commerce. They haven't really released. Let me see if those numbers have changed. Let me go back up. Let me scroll back up. Department of Commerce 315. Oversees economic growth, trade, technology through the Census Bureau, NOAA, and others. Provides data critical to businesses and local governments. If you don't have them people in place, guess what you can do? Lie like a rug. Yep. Impact of the layoffs. The NOAA weather services and research have been impacted, potentially affecting storm tracking and forecasts. What just happened in Alaska? Census Bureau surveys delayed, which can hurt local planning. Pay attention to this one. Not only the NOAA, because they had already made cuts there. Remember during the Doge era a couple months back. Remember that? Don't forget Doge cut a bunch of folk. Okay, so here we are again. We want to do some more cutting. All right. So now let's talk about Census Bureau. What's been happening in certain states right now? Are we seeing a bunch of bullshit gerrymandering happening right now? Okay. Census bureaus. The census helps us to district communities, identifying who or how many representatives you will have based on those numbers. Okay? This can hurt local planning for infrastructure and other things. Business forecasting. Pay attention. Business forecasting. Are we paying attention? So if I sat back and I kept my thoughts about me in terms of follow the money, in my head, I would say Census Bureau surveys delayed, which can hurt local planning, business forecasting, federal funding allocations, follow the money. This is all about the money. It's about money. Because if I can impact those numbers by shutting that sucker down, I can go in there and do what the hell I want. Because the numbers and the data is going to be skewed anyway. Federal funding allocations, they're going to take your money from your tax dollars. Yes, and I mean to say, they're going to take your money with your tax dollars and they're going to go right in there off of the funding that comes out of your paycheck every pay period. And they're going to turn right back around. And the federal funding that's supposed to go to businesses and so forth, when you go to fed.gov or whatever that website is and you're making whatever, right? So then when you go there and you can sign up as a small business and do whatever, well, what if I just go on there and that federal funding can just go to a major multi-million-dollar corporation who's going under a different name? You think the government's slow now. It's slower. BG Magic said they moving to Mexico. Be careful. Exactly. So your tax dollars are still paying for this. Your tax, yeah. So it stopped because somebody called me and I thought I had it on airplane mode, and I guess I did. No, they didn't cut me off. People be calling. I don't want to be bothered. You know I'm live at a specific time, specific day. What you doing? Well, anyway, paying attention to this is super important. Trade data and business filings have been delayed. Affecting private sector decision making, not by accident. Department of Energy. Let's see how many people they let go. 187. Now, they oversee U.S. energy policy, nuclear safety, and research. manage strategic petroleum services and energy grid security. You follow that? Okay. So when you're talking about that, grid security programs and research have been slowed, leaving critical energy infrastructure more vulnerable. Delays in energy grants and clean energy projects. Delays in energy grants and clean energy projects. Do I need to repeat that again? Nuclear site oversight reduced. Raising potential safety concerns if prolonged. Energy grant recipients have reported not receiving updates or payments on schedule. What does that mean? Local communities where people are getting this energy support when their bills are too high, they're not going to get them. State of Georgia right now, I was watching the news. Sister right here in Atlanta was talking about her light bill is usually like, I'm going to give you an example. So my light bill every single month without, hey, Laura, how are you? Hey, Della, how are you? My light bill every month runs between $450 to $585 a month. Okay. That includes my trash pickup, my recycling, my water, and my lights, the power to the house. Okay. And I have a rather large house. So when you're talking about a house of this size, 500 something bucks, you know, with people living here and so forth, it literally, honestly, is kind of economical. I have a big house. I ought to be ashamed myself, and I ain't. Because my children, I have 2 adult children who still live at home, and my granddaughter lives here as well. So we just kind of make it do what it do. Everybody has their own space, and everybody kind of, you know, whatever. So for the size of the house, it's not bad. Now, again, it covers water. It covers my trash and sewage, and it also covers recycling as well as the power. Okay. This sister who lives in Metro, because I live in Metro Atlanta. She lives in Atlanta. So I'm in Metro. Her bill went from $500 and some a month to $1,500 the next month. Her bill was $1,500. And she doesn't even know how. But her kilowatts were still the same. How the hell? Because, yeah, you got a bill for $950. Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane. So when I say this is on purpose, I'm trying to figure out, yes, cohabitation. Listen, you better know it. Yours double too. You about fell. I know. Laura, I know you did. Laura said, I about fell down. Redistricting is happening now in Chicago, right, Tony? Tony Williams has joined us as well. He's on YouTube talking to us, and it looks like he's saying redistricting is happening right now. Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that for you guys and let you know what's happening. It's happening in front of your faces. But you know what they want us to be concerned with? They want us to be concerned with the things that don't matter. But they do and they don't, right? That's right. Disenfranchise the blue states. Government shutdown will last for months or longer if lawmakers work out in Trump. Yeah. And here's what's going to happen. It's happening in our face. That's why I wanted to go through and do the things that I just did, okay? Because I think it's important. So grid security programs and research have been slowed. Delays in energy grants, once again, nuclear site oversight reduced, and also energy grant recipients have reported not receiving their updates. Now, there's a broader consequence to all of this, okay? The biggest one is permanent loss of institutional knowledge. Okay? These are terminations, folks. These are not furloughs. You feel me? They're not. They're not coming back. So y'all know where I'm going next, right? These are not furloughs, folks. The people that I just talked about have been let go permanently. These are the departments. Yes, and I'm going today. Hey, Kansas City, how are you? DJ Master Z? Yes, permanently. Some of these skilled staff that have been in position for years, they're gone. And they are not going to return after the shutdown is over. Yeah. Now, there are legal battles that are underway. Federal employee unions like the AFGE and others are challenging these firings, arguing they violate employee protections. Correct, Kayshawn. I 100% agree. Ripple effects on local governments and businesses are going to start happening if they haven't already. Now, from what I have been reading, it's already, from the Department of Education's perspective, it's already starting to happen. There are daycare centers that are telling parents your voucher's not being renewed. We're not going to be able to keep our doors open because we can't afford to keep these people paid. We're going to have to shut you down. We're going to have to shut down, not shut you down. You're going to have to find somebody else at the end of the month to take care of your kids. Yep, it's already happening. And I'll also say this, because I know people who are actually in the daycare business, they receive their funding from these federal programs so that parents who cannot afford the astronomical price of childcare in this country. And let's talk about that. Pause. I just had a flashback. I had two that were in daycare. True story. I was living in Riverdale, Georgia at the time. I was working for the cable company. Wasn't making no money. I think I was making $9.75 an hour. My daycare costs for Tamika and Imani, who are my two oldest, was $175 per child per week. That was in 1998, 99. I had vouchers back then. A week. Snow Winter said that's a day. A day. Program renewals require benefit verification letters. Social Security Administration not issuing them during the shutdown. My God. What you say? Oh, thank you, Eileen. You like my bowl? Oh, yes, this is my coffee bowl. Because that's how big it is. But I love it's something about a big mug I just had to have. Yeah, and the vouchers literally say, if it had not been for vouchers when I was a young single mother, I don't know how in the heavens. And now see, when my children, when KJ and Lily came along, now Lily was in she was in child care for a little bit when she was first born. For about a year. And then here's the thing. That's a lie. Let me take that back. Let me tell y'all how important it was for me. So Aaliyah and KJ were both in programs. KJ had a horrible lisp. And so we put him in speech therapy. Well, we had health insurance through his dad's job. And so it was still too much for his speech therapy because they put him in occupational therapy and physical therapy. And we paid like $50 a week with his insurance. Had it not been for those vouchers, my baby would probably still have a lisp. Aaliyah was diagnosed as nonverbal autistic. And they were so hell-bent on keeping my child without any support. They wanted me to put her on Social Security and all that other stuff. And I was like, no, what are my options? They were like, well, you could put her in these programs. And so I kept her in a program until she turned 4 years old. And she was in speech, occupational, physical, all of these others. And, and then we had like additional resources for her, like come pick her up, all of that, until she was able to become more independent. And out of all of them, I always say this with such beaming pride, she has graduated from Florida A&M University. magna cum laude. And the place where she was doing her internship hired her full time. But let's talk about number one. Thank you for that, Snow Winter. Let's talk about number one. If I had not done my due diligence, because no, I was not going. You are not marking my baby. I don't care what you say. We're going to do everything. Da, 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 da. And I stuck with it. And she has her own apartment. She's doing all the things. Da, da, da. You know, I check on her because, of course, you know, the mama in me wants to make sure she's still okay. Yeah, she's a rattler, baby. She just walked the stage in June. And I was so outdone by the amount of immense support that I got. Thank you for that. Because of that. But had it not been for those government programs that were in place, 9 times out of 10, she would probably still be at home, probably still be nonverbal. And when I tell you, dog, they worked with my child. She wasn't even walking, y'all. Seriously. But if it had not been for these programs that were in place, and I'm sure I'm not the only parent that had children with developmental delays, and because of that, they were like, oh, nonverbal, what? Who? Right? And so, yeah. And so it was because of these federal programs that were in place that helped me to pay for the support that she needed while I continued to go to school. I was in school at the same time and working. So, yeah. But without that kind of support, exactly, Angie T, your son, programs, they do help. They absolutely do help. Now I understand that they just try to put your babies in programs and put them to work. No, we're not doing that. And I meant that I'll never forget. She was 15 and we were getting her ready for high school. And the lady comes and sits us down and we're registering her for high school. And I'm all proud and stuff, you know. She says, well, here's a couple of programs that you should look into for her. Y'all, it was becoming a hairdresser, becoming a barber. And I blew up. I think I cussed the lady out. And she went to shake and she said, oh, well, I you know, these are just local. I said, she's not going to be local. How about that? These two here, they're going to college. You got it? And I meant every word. I wasn't playing with her. I did. I snapped, Flo. I snapped. I was like, oh, no, we're not doing that. No, ma'am. No. I don't know who you think I am, but we're not going. This is what they're going to do. Period. So KJ's getting ready to what? He's in his first semester of college. Just do your homework, baby. Just go to class. Do what you're supposed to do. He's going for cybersecurity. I'm excited and proud of him. So, but yeah, Yeah, IEB coaches on TikTok about helping parents. Yes, 1 million meetings. You have to be. When I tell you I still got that stack, the stacks on stacks and stacks, keep them in the garage in a box. Yep. And we proudly display her FAMU degree in the living room, like a real big mama does. Everybody's degrees and stuff is in the front room. Yeah, no, play with that. But again, it comes down to, yes, I'm bragging a little bit, but because I'm proud of my children. But here's the other thing. I couldn't have done it without the support of those federal programs that were in place when I was a young single mom with no help, no child support, none coming in, you know what I mean? Until, you know, because I had KJ when I was 38, you know, and it, you know, his dad helped pay for everything. And I was like, well, let's see if we can get some additional help because that's really high. So, yeah. And they were so important. But everybody's not me. Everybody's not some of you guys. And for those of you all who are out there, you're not going to be the Berean and dig and do the research, which is what we're currently doing here. Yeah, sure. I think it's important to express these and tell these stories because people think that this is just a group of numbers of people that are just taking. And that's not true. Let's talk about the fact that I was on food stamps until I think KJ was 6. Let me tell you how much food stamps I was getting. I still got the card. I was getting $175 worth of food stamps a month for 2 kids. Because Tamika and Imani were grown. And I was in school. Because in my rabbit brain, I was like, as soon as this is over, I'm turning this in. It didn't even take that long. Let me tell y'all what I did. So I guess something changed. This true story. Something changed with the SNAP benefits or the woman who was helping. So I was going for, I was reapplying was what it was. I had found a job laid me off. I had relocated closer to Hot Springs, Arkansas. And I said, I was like maybe 2 years away from graduating. And so I said, well, I really need something because I was in the middle of such a rigorous program and I wasn't able to continue on. It was so rigorous, I couldn't work. And so I thought I was going to be able to do another adjunct at the local college. That was a no. And so I said, well, okay, this is what I have to do. I have to take out an additional student loan to kind of pay for this, to pay for housing or whatever. And I'll just go apply for food stamps to kind of help me to get through this rough spot. So I go down to the food stamp office, true story. And I sat down with the woman, had all my documents or whatever. And y'all, if she'd lined up that damn pen one more time, she lined it up and she kept asking me for more information. She was like, do you have any other bank accounts? No, ma'am, I don't have any other bank accounts. I had two. I had my Navy Federal and I had one from the college that I started with years ago because that's where they would disperse your funds. And I had kept both of them, right? So I said, these are the only two. And this is what I am expecting. I have not received my student funds yet. She kept. She said, well, do you have any information on their dads? I was like, ma'am, everything's already in the system. I know how this works. I'm just moving over from one county to the other. She looked it up and she was like, well, do you have their contact information? I was like, ma'am, I know you don't know. So we started this banter of back and forth. Number one, you don't need their contact information. Number two, you don't need to know what child support that they're getting because number one, if all of you all are connected, you should already have that information, right? And so at the end of the day, I finally had enough because it was clear you were trying to find a way to deny me anything at that point. And I stood up and I said, you know what? And I stood over her and I know I scared the poor little lady. I said, you know what? I don't need your damn money. I said, I'll starve first before I step my ass back in here. We will find a way. And I walked out. That was KJ. I know KJ was 6. We shop here in Arkansas. That's where I was. I was in Hot Springs. Yeah. And I stood up over that woman. Let me tell y'all how fast I went home. And I was furious. I was seething. And I thought, now you're gonna put your foot in your mouth. You're gonna have to. So what I would do is I would send the kids. It was during the summer when this happened. I sent the kids every day to the Boys and Girls Club so they could eat breakfast because I had no food. And I found 2 places near me that gave out weekly groceries. One was for fruits and vegetables. One was for breads and cereals and cakes. And that's how we survived. That's how we survived until I graduated. Yep. I was sick of them. I was so sick of them, y'all. I was so sick. And then on top of that, mind you, I had just started Brownstone Worldwide. Yeah. That is a true story. I was so sick of them. Because they were trying, I don't know what her deal was. She was like, well, oh, I said, yeah, it is. I said, you're trying to find a way to deny me. I said, I'll stop you right there. Similar story. Yeah. It always happens in our face. They just don't feel the need. They're not hiring anything anymore. But that really did happen to me. And I was so furious. And I remember my daughter, Imani, she had an apartment. She was in school around the corner from me. And I told her what happened. And I was like, well, we're going to have to double up and da-da-da-da. She was so mad at me. She was like, Mama, why? Because I'm tired. You almost asking for my blood type. I'm sick of you. And I've worked all of these years into a system that should be there when I need it. I was like, I'm good. I went to churches. I sure did. KJ and Lily to this day are like, don't ever. We are so traumatized because we had to eat at the boys. I was trying to make sure that you all ate. You did the same thing, Fancy Flower? Yeah. Because some of these people in these offices are so nasty and mean to you. And all I was looking for was a little help until I could get on my feet. Yep. And I knew it wasn't going to be much, but I had already figured out ways to make it stretch. You know what I mean? Like there was a grocery store, I think it's called Brookshire's. Brookshire's had like the $20 meat deal. I could take a $20 meat deal, put it in the freezer. So I knew every day of the week what we were going to have there, right? And then I could still take stuff from the churches because they weren't going to give me much money. You know, take stuff from the churches, and I would, you know, and sporadically, you know, if one of their dads decided to send, you know, child support, I would take that and piece it together as well. But then you got to remember, I had to pay rent. I had to do all that. I was like, as soon as I graduated, I was out. I was like, I wish I would spend another minute in Arkansas. I was gone. Gone. Mm-mm. No. They don't pay nothing down there, no way. But anyway, so that's enough of that. But I said all of that to say that these systems are put in place that you pay your tax dollars into so that you can get on your feet when you need to. Now, I know people that have made a career out of it, but not everybody is like that. You know what I mean? So I told that story. Hey, Carol Sue, you almost went over the desk at a woman. Yeah. Job loss too. Wow. So my point in saying all of that is that these programs are here to help you, but without the proper people in position, you're not going to be able to get the things that you need done. And I do, you know, some of this is absolutely going to have a ripple effect on local governments and so forth. Child, listen, I know how you feel, Carol Sue. When I tell you I stood up, I said, you know what? I was so ready. I was like, no, I'm good. I'll starve first. And I vowed, I made that promise. And it was days I went hungry to make sure they ate. I was not playing. And that was in the 2000s. For real. I was tired. I was like, oh no. So I'm never going to sit here and tell you that I've always had my ish together, because I haven't. I'm never going to sit here and tell you that I haven't had my struggles, or that recently we have not struggled. You know, because even after I bought the house, and then during that time, I've talked about it, and I'll talk about it again because that anniversary is coming up. It'd be 3 years. During that time when that guy was suing all of these people for DEI and all these companies, the company I was with let go of anybody that they felt like was a part of DEI. Sure did, so they wouldn't get sued. And I was one of those people. I was done, Cadell. I said, you know what? Talk to you any kind of way. I sure did. So I was like, well, let me go find another job. Well, that didn't happen. And so here we are. Doing content daily. You were getting snarky, so you had to tell the kids we were on a diet. She said, I guess so. I'd have been like, then it would be like, I'm going to call security. We need to get out, leave, so forth. Yeah. Yeah. So here we are. Now let's go back through and do a summary of that, right? So like Treasury and IRS, it's going to hit tax operations. Here's what it's going to impact: your refund delays, economic ripple. I had a girl. I know, Carol Sue. I know how it is. Health and Human Services and the CDC is impacting public health because of these terminations. Slower outbreak response. We're having a measles outbreak response. We're having a measles outbreak right now, and they have quarantined a group of children in North Carolina. I reported on that the other day. DHS and CISA, cybersecurity and security, weaker infrastructure defenses. Education, student aid and civil rights. Loan delays and enforcement gaps. HUD, affordable housing. Delayed payments, housing instability. Government and the NOAA, which manages the weather. Economic and weather data and information will be impacted. Forecast and trade disruptions. Energy, grid and energy security, project slowdowns, potential vulnerabilities. That's what you're going to see at this point. Mine too, Kim. K times. I'm serious about that. Like, to me at this point, it's kind of mind-boggling what we're dealing with, but I need you all to pay attention because we're going to absolutely go over what we always do as we start to wind down today's show. I did good. An hour and 38 minutes. Some of y'all like, what? Because I'm usually on here for 2.5 hours. But I'll be back because I don't have rehearsal tonight. Let's see. Yes, I am singing over the weekend. So, yeah, there we go. Where are we going? We're going over Project 2025.observer. All right, where are we right now? Okay, so we're still standing still at October 6th as the last portion of Project 2025 that has been completed, but you should still be concerned. I'll probably broadcast live Carol Sue like I did the last time with the band. So the last thing that was completed on Project 2025 is approve the Ambler Road project proposal for a 211-mile industrial access road and is intended to facilitate the development of at least 4 large-scale mines. You can go over to whitehouse.gov and get that information, but guess what? It's on page 530 of project2025.org. If you have not gotten your copy of that document, I would encourage you to get it. September 2026, freeze allocation of resources, foreign aid disbursements, and hiring and recruiting decisions. Marco Rubio froze all foreign aid spending. Congress approved a precision package clawing back $7 billion in foreign aid. Supreme Court allowing Trump to use pocket rescission to cancel over $4 billion. NPR.org, AEI.org, but it's on page 174 of Project 2025. Completed on September 16th. Trump administration laying off 6,000 IRS employees. Congress eliminated new funding for tax enforcement. You can head over to sources such as abcnews.go.com, itep.org, but guess where else you can go? Page 699 of project2025.org. And the question Cadell asked, along with K Times, is, so where is the money going? Because you know what they haven't done? If you are employed somewhere, they haven't stopped taking your money, have they? They haven't reduced how much they are taking out of your paycheck, correct? Didn't think so. Right. Completed on August 8th, 2025. We're going to do 3 more. Trump administration deployed officers from across many federal agencies, including the Secret Service, allows Secret Service officers to serve as law enforcement in Washington, D.C. We watched that in real time. The reference for this is thehill.com, but guess what, folks? It's on page 158 of Project 2025. Well, looky there. Yeah. So what does that tell you? Sit still. Think about it just for a moment. If it's on page 158 of Project 2025, and we watched it play out in real time, what does that tell you? A couple things, doesn't it? It should. It should absolutely make you sit back and think, wait a minute. So this is in Project 2025 on page 158 of a document that he said he knew nothing about. Hey, Sugar Mama. Exactly. It is the playbook. And guess what? Playbooks are not written on the fly, are they? I just thought I should point that out. We playing checkers. We playing Uno. Exactly. Bingo. Ahead of the game. Exactly. Y'all catching this? Y'all getting this? Are y'all getting this? It was. Now, if you read the prologue to the Heritage Foundation's project, it literally says that they've been, the Heritage Foundation has been in government since the Reagan administration. Yep. And it highlights what they made him do. Yeah. So what do you think? So what do you think they're doing right now? Like it's literally, when you read it, it is a playbook, step by step by step of what is happening right now. It's in there. So that was on page 158. What happened in DC? Nice building. Hey, Geisha. I know Lucy Lou. My God. Carol Sue said it was started by Nixon. And one of the authors, what department does he run now? But we said we didn't know nothing about it. We said we didn't know. We didn't have, I have no idea what you're talking about. And the whole daggone time, this joker knew. Because they're telling him what to do. Y'all think that he's doing this? You want the honest opinion? For me, he doesn't have the mental capacity or the fortitude. But a group of folks behind him do. And they're just telling him what to do. One of them actually said, we are pleasantly surprised at how fast he is moving. He doesn't even read it correct, Snow Winter. He's just a face. So here we are. Progress by agency. USAID, 6 objectives have been completed at 100%. Commodity Futures and Trading Commission, 100%. Corporation for Public Broadcasting, they shut that shit down so fast our head is still spinning, isn't it? White House, 13 objectives, 100% completed. No, 92. Department of State, 80% complete. Y'all can tell when I get mad because I start cussing. Yep. Currently, 119 have been done. 66 are in progress to be completed. We are at 48% of Project 2025 being completed. Y'all mad yet? Yep, I reported on that, Cadell. Yep, monitoring of everyone's social media. Correct. They're actually they haven't started the department. It's still being formulated, which means they're actually hiring. They're hiring. Like, that's horrifying. Yep, he is. So this is where we give you your call to action. You ready? Yep, Palantir. Yep. Hold on just a minute, y'all. Because I need to, when I get to talking this long, my nose runs. It's the vibration. All right, now, let's talk about what we can do. What can you do? Number one, we know No Kings is coming up. No King's Day. Okay, we do know that. But here's the thing. Some of you all, like me, I ain't going. I'm not going. It ain't happening. Whose final goal? Oh, I'm missing a whole. Ooh, y'all in here tearing these comments up. There's what's the opposition that needs to be. Well, here's the thing. We're still playing Uno. Carol Sue says stay at home. So, excuse me. A couple of things that you guys need to know if you are going to the No Kings barbecue is this. A couple things that have already been said about this particular rally is that these the propaganda that is being put out is that these people are domestic terrorists. That they are. Woo, somebody said we ain't even playing Uno. Yeah, we're playing Uno. They're playing Battleship, honey, and they wearing us out. They are absolutely, Geisha, correct. So what they're saying is, and I'm reading it and I'm looking at all of the things because you also know that they had like this round table in the White House, and they talked about Antifa. So we're gonna end with this. We're gonna end with this, and y'all know it's gonna take about 10 minutes, but we definitely need to, because what's our call to action? It wouldn't surprise me, FTW. I would hope not, though. A couple of things. Let's discuss what Antifa is and what it is not, because I think, of course, I got my notes. Let me pull them up. I don't know who keeps inviting me to co-host. I do not want to, dear. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about what Antifa stands for. Because I need y'all to know, so you're not out here believing the hype. And then all of a sudden, Public Enemy is playing behind me. Don't believe the hype. So let's talk about it, shall we? What does Antifa stand for? Antifa, and y'all saw I did a little skit about the old lady looking for her granddaughter named Antifa Renee Kayshawn Lewis. I did that on purpose, and I did it with this little press piece in there, and I was the news person and so forth. But at the end, I explained how fast the wrong information can be spilled out and correct, not correct, but and cause people to think the wrong things. And that's really what media does. You just be in there. Can you say your... Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm giving information. If that's what they want to do, guess who got their own platform? Yeah, I'm good. So here's what it stands for. It stands for activists who identify themselves as anti-fascist or anti-racist. Did y'all catch that? Hey, Sierra, how are you? Yeah. Yep, and we're going to talk about that in just a second too, definitely. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's go all the way back. The idea that Antifa started with D-Day. How many of you all are familiar with D-Day? Antifa invaded Normandy on June 6, 1944. That's the story. But it's not really Antifa. These people literally, yes, the Battle of Normandy. These people literally were a part of the reason why we saw the takedown of that particular regime. Okay? Those were Allied forces that were brought in to take down that regime. But now the term that we use today actually came later. Make sense so far? Okay. Now, Here's what we need to know. Let's go back in history. The word didn't exist in 1944, but you were just doing it. It was basically a decentralized movement of fascism, racism, and far right extremism. Sound familiar? Okay, so it is a contraction of both of those words, anti and then fascist. Okay, and so we're gonna go all the way and talk about what this means. It's basically a group of people who have decided that they're against white nationalism, neo-Nazi behavior, right? Far-right events, those kinds of things, okay? Here's what you do need to know about that. First of all, there's no leadership. So they have us believing, not me, but they have people believing. So Mike Johnson said it. He was like, we're gonna bring all of those people down. Da 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 da. And I thought, how you gonna bring down something that don't exist? It's just a word. It's an ideology. How you do that? Okay. I need it to make sense. But if you say it, there you go. The boogeyman. If you say it long enough, you'll believe that the boogeyman is in your virtual closets and standing on your streets. Yeah. So let's talk about that. So there's no central funding. There's no headquarters because it's just a word. Yep. Light bulb. Exactly. I love that. Boogeyman. Bondi says they are sophisticated. We so sophisticated, we like ghosts. We don't exist. Because anybody that does not align with what is currently happening is what? Anti-fascist. That's it. Antifa is not a political party. It's not an organization. It is an ideology. But if we say it long enough, listen closely. If you say it long enough, and if you create terror with journalists, it takes Heather to do it, journalists who said that they've been attacked and bruised and beaten by people, and they put it on television and they put it on social media and on the White House front page, it's got to be true that these people from this organization did all of these terrible things. And then all of a sudden you have to be afraid because No Kings on October 18th is coming, and they're coming for you. And we're going to make sure that we protect the American people. Did y'all catch that? Exactly, Cassie. They running game on you. They running game on me. They running game on this. From the very moment that I did today's broadcast, I have been sharing with you guys how they are running game on us. It's all about the setup. They run a game. It's all a game. And they know it. Exactly, Scorpio lady, from day one. They run a game on us, and I really, really want us to pay attention. I really, really do. It's so important. They run a game on us by shutting down and closing departments of people that have been on their jobs in the federal government for years. And they're saying, we need to trim the fat. We need to cut all of this waste. And they allowed teeny boppers to come in with a billionaire at the head of it all, waving a chainsaw And for fun, he destroyed people's entire lives. And he said it was your fault. Yet we paid him thousands of dollars every day to piss on us and tell us it was rain. Because he was paid to do it with your money and mine. And he laughed about it. Now we have this fake government shutdown because the Democrats are refusing to relinquish when they don't even have power in any one of the branches of current government. And they know that the uneducated are not going to do the homework to recognize, hey Cornelia, to recognize that the Republicans hold the power right now. So what are they doing? They're pushing the extra propaganda. They wanted to put videos blaming the Democrats at your airports. And the airport said, hell no, Christy, go home. I'm just saying. The whole thing is a setup. It's all a setup. It's all a setup. I know they are, Cadell, but you know what? We can ramp up too. The reason why I'm bringing this up and letting you all know this way is because I want you all to understand this whole thing is a setup. They're setting us up for the okie doke. Yup, smoke and mirrors. Let's keep them upset about this. Let's be mad that Bad Bunny, who is an American citizen, by the way, is singing for 20 minutes, if that. I think it's 12 to 14 minutes unpaid. Did y'all know the boys don't get paid for their performance? The people don't get paid for that. It is an opportunity to get seen. Unpaid, he's going to go down there and he's going to sing in Spanish because he sings in Spanish. An American citizen is being dogged out because he happens not to be what they consider to be all American. They want us to be focused on that so they can continue to keep doing all of this mess behind the scenes. If y'all don't go somewhere and let that boy go on ahead and sing and do whatever he gonna do and learn how to cha-cha-cha along the way, and I'm being facetious, of course, right? Yeah, they don't get paid for that. No. Like, come on, y'all. It's all a game. It's all a lie. From Happy Feet. It's all a lie. Yeah. Boy, they playing in our face so good, and they just somewhere just tickle pink. Because they know a lot of people do not understand the propaganda of using media. And they know as long as this thing keeps us sedated, we good. We got it. We got it. As long as they're not talking, mainstream media is not talking about Alaska, it's as if it didn't exist. As long as we can block you from seeing what's happening around the world on social media, we can keep you believing that America is the greatest place on earth. I've seen it, Michael. And we still not going to react, Charmaine. Yep. So here's the thing. We will, for those of you all who are going to the No Kings event, here's a call to action for you. Number one, keep your head on the swivel, because the word on the street is everybody that's going are quote unquote terrorists. That's the declaration I heard this morning, and I read it. Terrorists and to the US of A. No, we're not. We're not. We sick of y'all. We sick of y'all. We've been sick of y'all. We tried to tell folks that this was what was coming. And it had nothing to do with left or right. It had everything to do with what's right. So that's number one. Number two, any identification that you may have, keep it on your person, even if it is nothing but copies of, say, for instance, your documents, especially if you are Black or brown, because I know it's going to be some people out there who are not white who are going to be there, and everywhere. Yeah, the people tired, and that's really what it's about. And here's something else. Yes, so I was going to suggest that Cadell said dress in costumes. I mean, dress up like a frog. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Yeah, hello, my ragtime gal. Yeah, go ahead. No representation. And right now, we're not getting any. But you keep getting that money taken out your check every week or every pay period. They gonna get their taxes so they can keep ripping you off in your face and then telling you the problem. Stay safe, stay safe, stay safe. You're importantly, Cadell. Stay safe out there, y'all. Remain peaceful. Know your rights. What are we going to talk about next? Hold on. So I bought some stuff and it's on top of my. Get this. Your constitutional right. What is your constitutional right? What does that First Amendment say? Do we need to read it? I think we should. First Amendment says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Now, one of the things that I do know that has worked and worked in the past when it comes to protesting and so forth and doing the marches and doing all of the things is this. Number one, do it until you get the result you are looking for. We cannot be concerned about bouncy houses and whether or not we're going to walk past a coffee shop. Be prepared for inconveniences. If the brothers and sisters and those of us whose parents and grandparents and great-grandparents marched and walked instead of taking the bus until they saw change, we can do the same thing. We are no better. As a matter of fact, we are better off for the sacrifices that they made. Hence the reason why some of our children are as soft as they are. I had one of mine tell me, I don't want to talk about that. I'm going to Target anyway. Okay. Okay. You can print it out, but I got mine at Five Below. If you don't have a Five Below near you, I do know these are on Amazon. If you're still using Amazon. Right there. Okay. All right. Now, and like I said, it was $5. Me either, Kayshawn. I ain't been 2 years. Yeah. So, yeah. And keep it with you so that you understand. Peaceably. You have the right to assemble and demand the request of your, oh yeah, told me they're going anyway. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to go out and have a good time. Y'all know what I was doing when I was 18 and 19 years old, baby. We was in these streets. Tawana Brawley didn't do it. Fight the power. You know what I mean? Like for real. Like we was out there. Different time. First stop. Yep. Make sure they have it though, because sometimes they may not. Because I bought The Art of War. It was a little red book. And I bought 2. What you know about RUHS? Stephen Dickerson. Yeah. So my point is number one, if you're going to do that, Tawana Brawley. Yeah, I remember that. I know, Stephen. Yeah. So yeah. Um, so here's the thing that I want you all to also remember. If you are not going to be physically out there, here or pink X, I don't know. I want one of them so that I could just wear it. Reading, studying, quiet weapons for silent war. Ooh, my God, today. So here's what we need to do, folks, before yeah, I have my copy, Geisha Girl. I'm ready. The Art of War, very good book. Very good book. And it'll help some of us get out our feelings and really focus on business the way that we're supposed to. But now check this out. Here's what we need to do as not so much a counter, but as a partner to that. Please understand that there are certain things that you can do in your communities. Number one, always remember that the information that I'm sharing with you, I've done the research on. Okay. And you notice I'm starting to tell you where I'm getting it from because you can go find this yourself. Okay. Number one, do that. Always be a Berean of your own ideas and thoughts, and don't just take my word for it. Always go out there and find out for yourself. Number two, keep your ears. Sometimes I don't catch the news, right? Because I'm but one person, but I try my best. I try my best in the middle of everything that I have going on. I try my best to do that. Number two, if you see something, say something. That's a part of you being a part of the people in the neighborhood. We call ourselves neighbors. So Steve Dickerson, you know, in our communities, we used to have something called the neighborhood watch, right? So I have created, and I'm going to be sharing with you all how you can become members. I've created the neighborhood watch, which is an ambassador program. And also, if you are a people you remember that little sign in the door, your big mama and them had, my grandmother had one in her window, honey. And it stayed in the window, was red when she got it. And by the time, yes, I have, Angie, by the time I was having my first child, it was white. It has stayed in the window so much. So I'm on watch, and so is my neighbor, is our mantra here. Okay. Number two, so later, let's discuss how this peace treaty is going left. Yeah. That's tonight. We definitely gonna talk about that because Geisha, it was never one. We're gonna talk about that and how they cutting up. So we have the neighborhood watch, which is an ambassador program. Some of you guys are just accidentally in there, but then also we have the people in the neighborhood, and yes, it is on Patreon. I have to remove some of this stuff because the way I want to really discuss things needs to be done in a space where it is not a part of that. Right. Remember, you also still have brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, and you also have Brownstone Living Magazine. That's our lifestyle brand. And so you watching on YouTube too. Okay, that's what's up. Good to see you over there, Geisha Girl. How you doing? So listen, correct, Cadell. That's important. But I've had this platform. Like I said, I started it when I was in graduate school, and it's grown considerably. So that's where we're going to be headed. That does not mean that I'm coming off of here, but what I will be doing is I will be sharing other ways that we can support one another. The other thing is that it will give you access to other things that we're doing. And it does take research. So thank you, Flo. I appreciate that. Now, let me also say this. A lot of you guys do this. Angie T, big shout out to you. Keshawn, shout out to you guys. Deals with Nia, Kutta, all of you guys have been with me from the beginning. Carol Sue, y'all, they constantly send me news, and I appreciate y'all. Lucy Dreamer sent me a couple things. A couple of other people have. You can be a neighbor. Yes, I will be sharing how you can become a neighbor. And then in the summer coming up, we will be having a live event called the Block Party. So I'll be sharing more information about that. And this is all due to the fact that you guys have been so, like, y'all love on me for real, and you don't know that you do. And you send me messages and stuff and say, don't stop, because y'all, it be some days, especially on Facebook, when I tell y'all they come for me, whoo, my God, and I go, oh my God, don't respond. So, and I have to kind of, yes, and I will come back. It'll be by Friday. I'll be sharing information on how you can become a neighbor and support the movement, because it's really what this is, what that allows me to do. For those of you all who don't know, I have a team of 4 that work with me. Okay. You did? Cadell, for real? Wow. So you know me by my full government name. Oh, okay. That's all right. So what we do, what I'm doing is we do this full time. So I have a team of 2 that work on Brownstone Living Magazine, and I oversee. I have a team that works on, and when I say team, it's 2 people that I hire to edit videos and so forth. Because this isn't all we do. We actually have clients. I cut commercials and stuff. Okay. Send me an inbox on that, Gams, because we don't send an inbox about that. And here's something else we're going to start doing in Brownstone Living Magazine. We want to highlight some of you guys. Seriously. So Brownstone Living, it is not, let me, I appreciate y'all saying that. And then big shout out to Tony, Marshawn, let's see who else, Leanne, Nicole, all of this. We actually have people who are in the neighborhood who actually have podcasts on Cityscape Radio. Yeah. I know, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So we have those people, they submit their work, and then some people actually just, they crack the stream and they can come in and broadcast. Tony broadcasts every night at 8:00 from Chicago, Illinois. So we actually have somebody on the ground that knows what's going on. So big shout out to him. We also have, let's see, like I said, Brownstone Living Magazine. I'll share the link in my story later on today. So you guys, if you haven't gotten your free issue, you can. You're in Chicago too, Flo? Yeah, so we're looking for boots on the ground, people on the ground, to share those stories of what's happening in real time. And we'll start putting those on Brownstone Worldwide. It's important. And then, yes, I've had people ask, and so I'm going to put this out here. If you want to write and share, you know, nonpartisan, of course, because we all want to always provide factual information. If you want to write and have a column, let's talk about it. For real, for real, for real. Okay, Shy is in the building up in here. Come through. Those were my stomping grounds when I was young and didn't have no business in the streets because I lived in Milwaukee. Come on, Indianapolis. Okay, Lulu. Yeah, so we're making some changes, and it's not easy because, again, like I said, I've got one person that's editing right now. My son actually works for me as well. And who else we have? We have Sheena. We got our branding department that actually helps design Brownstone Living Magazine. So it don't look just good because look good because I did it. These people had to get paid, which is my point. And so because I'm taking more time doing this full time, we have started to get creative in how we're going to start generating this revenue so I can continue to pay my folks. And somewhere in there, I get to eat too, because it's a lot of work. And I love it. We love what we do. Okay. Shoot. Yeah, Lulu. Are you human? Do you believe in what is right? That's what we care about around here. Yeah, it's hot out here for a pimp. When we try to get to money. All right, so listen, I am officially at 2 hours, and I said I wasn't gonna do it, but we're here, okay, and that's okay. I will see you all tonight for our 8:30 ish show called The Night Shift. You guys have just experienced the day shift, and again, thank you all for coming out and just hanging out with me. Sure, of course, Geisha, always, girl, we here, honey. And whenever y'all see something, say something. Here's a couple of other things we're going to talk about. Number one, before we wrap, let's talk about the apps that we have shared over this past 8-9 months together. Number one, grab a pen. Too Good to Go. TOO, Good to Go. TO Go. That's an app. Take Back the System. And the Goods Unite Us app. And I appreciate you all. I appreciate each and every last one of you. To you as well, Carol Sue. Thank you. Too Good to Go. Take Back the System. Goods Unite Us. Black Farmers app. Okay. Those are the apps that you definitely should have in your repertoire. I sure will. I sure will. So y'all, we're going to get up out of here because I got to blow my nose again. Every time I get to talking for a long time, that vibration, here we go. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, Live your life to the fullest and embrace everything that is your life, because you only get one you might as well enjoy it. And lastly, breathe through every single moment. You guys, I will see you all this evening for the night shift. I sure will. And as a matter of fact, I'll probably make another video, Lint Liquor, so you can just grab that, okay? All right, you guys. Love you much. I will see you all this evening for the night shift. We'll see you around.
Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, exciting. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Bernard. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see